What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Randy here with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you a dynamite video today. We are playing the Lord of the Rings Rise to War, and in today's video, we are talking about fantastic Cirdan versus gorgeous, beautiful Sauron. Okay, so let's get right into it. Like and sub. Here we go. First off, shout out to Taco and all the folks who were defenders in the Kraken Civil War the other day that I live streamed. It was fantastic. These are some reports from that fight. Okay, now. Taco's Sauron is one of the strongest Saurons you're ever going to see. He's got a bunch of 5-star, 0 to 3 refinement gold items with a maxed out smoking pipe on it. Total focus is 565. I'll just rotate through the items real quick. Plus 6 HP here, okay? Another plus 6 HP here. Plus 3 HP here, so a total of plus 31 defense, plus 15 HP, making his melee infantry units crazy, crazy strong. And then we cap it off with worn out smoking pipe for some nice healing. Skill build wise, of course, as you can tell, we have the top R0 tree maxed out. We've got the bottom R0 tree with extra points in it, and the middle R3 tree is maxed out. All right. Troop composition is going to be a mixture of half trolls, dragoons, and halberdiers. So we should see that perform well. Now, the Cirdan is an interesting build that you may or may not have ever seen before. If you haven't seen it before, here you go. I think I messed around with it in back end, but I don't know if I did a video. I don't remember. Okay, so this is Cirdan. I think I did make a video in back end messing around with Cirdan Retaliate. So this is a Cirdan Retaliate build where I am using the Respect 5 tier tree here to gain these unique bonuses for the first 5 rounds, but I'm also gaining the ability to ignore race restrictions on equipment, which means I can equip any type of equipment that I want that isn't a unique. Okay, then we have an extra point in River's Wrath for some damage and a potential stun. I got 15 points in Teleri. This is really the point of the build. Think of Teleri like mounted combat, but on crack. Mounted combat, right, has a 20% chance to trigger 70% damage. Teleri has a 30% chance to trigger, almost double that. So it's got a 50% higher chance to trigger the mounted combat, and its damage bonus is very high based on your commander speed. So based on my speed, like I said, I have plus 115.78 speed, okay? I have a lot of plus speed on him. I will gain a nice damage bonus from Teleri. All right, the rest of your points are going to go into White Council with High Alert, and then you can kind of mix the rest of your points around as you see fit, a Starlight or whatever you decide. Okay, gear is going to be Reckoning with Retaliate, or really any strong Retaliate weapon. You want to get so when Teleri procs, it's different from mounted combat because it doesn't add a damage instance, but it does increase your damage of that instance that's happening at the time. So it doesn't add an additional damage instant. It massively increases the damage for an ongoing damage instance. So because of that, while Theoden can run a 0 refinement reckoning, or I can't use reckoning, but while Theoden can use a 0 refinement retaliate weapon and still have huge mounted combat hits, you want to have a high refinement retaliate weapon for Cirdan, okay? Next, we have Scout's Mail. This could be anything. You just want some speed, okay? For the helmet, again, speed is great. I decided to go with HP and Manipulate because I decided that this build is very, very squishy, okay? So, and I'll get to that in a second, but the plus HP and the Manipulate are really going to help you live long enough to deal huge damage, okay? And lastly, Box of Knowledge, more might, focus, some more HP here, and really this ability makes it very powerful. 40% chance to trigger minus 9% damage received, as well as another 40% chance to deal maximum damage output, okay, which is a big deal. So, into the Keepers. So as you can see, there's about a 25% damage range, so just by maxing out your damage roll any given turn, you're increasing your damage by up to 25%. Of course, you could roll the maximum damage without it, just through RNG, but this guarantees that you overcome that 25% damage gap, okay? Next, we talked about squishiness. So Keepers are some of the squishiest units in the game, okay? They have 25 HP and 24 defense. They literally, I cannot explain this clear enough, they literally explode on contact. So if you cannot kill the enemy like instantaneously, you're basically dead, okay? So, Keepers, of course, have this nice ability to get more focus damage output after their normal attacks. They also, and this isn't maxed out, but when fighting one single unit, they gain dramatically high damage bonus. So, this makes them very, very powerful against certain types of units. This also makes them very resistant because a lot of problems for Retaliate pop up when you fight a commander with a single unit stack. You're not getting any Retaliate damage. This overcomes that problem. Okay? Into the actual report itself, let's take a look. I know it looks like I'm losing massively, and I am losing, okay? Let's be very clear. I am losing this fight. I will lose this fight. But considering the fact that Taco is level 50 with very, very nice gear, equal or better than the gear I'm running on Cirdan, is fantastic, okay? Damage output wise, right? This is always a key metric that we like to look at. This build put out significantly higher damage than the Sauron build that's attached, okay? Sauron was able to get 80,000 healing, which is ridiculous. Enormous amount of healing there. I don't even know what it came from. I don't even know. I don't even understand. I mean, Soul Siphon must be healing for like 12,000 a tick. Then you have Smoking Pipe. So 80,000 smoking damage, yeah. 80,000 healing here is crazy. So very nice healing output. But obviously Cirdan was able to pull ahead with higher damage. So let's take a look and see. And again, since I have no health pool, since the Keepers literally have no health whatsoever, you're going to lose almost every fight. I'm just going to come out and say it, okay? You don't expect this to win. I just thought it was really exciting and interesting, so I wanted to show it to you, all right? So, Cirdan, okay. First off, please note that I do reduce focus damage taken by 50% with High Alert, which will impact Sauron's damage, okay? Oh, and then I manipulate my own Keepers here in round 1. Look at that. The Keepers have been manipulated in round 1. They will do a 42% reduced damage in round 1. Keep that in mind as we look at this first. Okay, the Keepers attack nobody. This is, okay, look, first damage of the round here from the Keepers. Okay, they gain the artillery bonus, 113.2% damage bonus. So even though they have a minus 42% damage, they are dealing 14.8 with Retaliate. Okay? Here we go. Another 15k Retaliate on the Half Trolls. And then very little damage on the Halberdiers. Okay. Here we go in round 2. The Keepers are gaining avoidance. Okay? Cirdan attacks the Keepers. He uses their avoidance. The Keepers here in round 2 do get an auto attack off with some focus damage. Very nice. With some focus damage. Okay. Did not trigger artillery with either one of these attacks, but still not terrible damage when you consider the fact that their damages from the auto attack is reduced by 70%. The Dragoons get an auto attack retaliated on with no proc. Half Trolls, no proc, but still some good damage. Okay. Still some good damage. And then here we have the Halberdiers hitting the Keepers. Teleri proccing 17.5, guys. 17.5. A lot of damage output here. And here in round 3, finally Madness is gone. The Great Deception has disappeared. The Ring of Terror has disappeared. Interestingly enough, Dragoons, right, finally getting manipulated. And now we're going to see the Keepers with a damage roll increase, ladies and gentlemen, the Keepers with the maximum damage roll increase going from 20.9 to 25.9 damage. I'm just looking for, here's a nice Teleri proc, 17.5 right there. Very beautiful. And here comes all that healing. Look at this ridiculous amount of healing from Sauron. Almost 20k healing due to Soul Siphon. And then 2,800 healing per tick 3 ticks from sustain. All right. Okay, here's a second Teleri proc this round, ladies and gents. So a regular retaliate hit, maximum damage roll. Again, I'm already down 10% troops, but maximum damage roll here. Oh, shoot, I'm actually down. So keep in mind, I started this with 7,400 troops, and I'm down to 5,056. So that is, I'm down like 30% of my troops. So even with 30% of my troops down, I'm still retaliating for 17K. All right? It's a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal. These are some strong units. Now I rolled a -9% physical damage received. It's such an interesting build because it's so strange. It has so many things that work well together. The only problem, right, the biggest problem I should say, is that keepers are so squishy. They're so squishy with 25 base HP. I don't even know what to do. Like, you have to, and I'm using 2 HP items just to keep, like, without the 2 HP items, the HP for my march is under 200,000. It's like 189,000 or something like that. Without running +3 HP in the Bone Mask and +2 HP on Box of Knowledge. So, maybe there's another chest out there that I'm not thinking of that can give me some good speed and some HP. I have to think of something here that's going to keep the keepers alive long enough. I mean, maybe I use the curse ability. Maybe I run curse on a helmet with speed on it. I just don't know. So more theory crafting has to happen before this build is ready for mainstream PvP, but I thought it was interesting enough to share with you guys. So thank you for watching. Love you long time. Like and sub. Randy out.